Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, I got kind of a really cool story and it might make you really think about taking this cruise, but I'll save that for the end because first I just want to update you on what's happening with Hurricane Beryl. It is now a Category 4 as of 8 a.m. yesterday. So it is now currently one of the strongest storms ever in June in the Caribbean and the Atlantic. One of the strongest storms we've ever seen since they started monitoring and tracking hurricanes. And if it's starting in June, that's not boding well for the rest of the year, right? We're already into June and we're seeing a Category 4, the strongest one ever in June, or at least one of the strongest ever in June recorded. So much so that even the stocks of the cruise lines, when the hurricane's going through, dropped. No ships right now are in danger or anything like that, but the stocks dropped for some reason on Monday because people are speculating of, well, this could happen, the cruise ports could get damaged, private islands can get damaged, etc., and people might stay away, or cruise lines might have to refund money, and so the stock prices dropped. But in the meantime, the cruise ships and the cruise lines are doing their best just to make sure that they do not put their passengers in any danger or their ships in any danger. For instance, Royal Caribbean is changing the itinerary on 3 of their ships. Their Icon of the Seas, the Harmony of the Seas, and the Wonder of the Seas are all going to change their itineraries to keep away from the storm. They will be still doing some of the ports on the itinerary. They're just going to change them up a little bit. Carnival right now, the way their ships are positioned, at least for these cruises that are happening right now, won't have to change any of its itineraries so far. However, NCL is going to have to make some big changes because of the timing of when they're sailing. For instance, the NCL Jade is changing its itinerary complete. It was going to San Juan, Tortola, British Virgin Islands, Dominican Republic. Well, now it's going to Jamaica and Cozumel and Georgetown. So it's changing its itinerary completely. It's kind of like the Breakaway is doing. They're avoiding the eastern ports. So now they'll be skipping Roatan, Harvest Key, Belize, Costa Maya, and Cozumel. And instead, they'll be going to places like Key West, Nassau, Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, Tortola, all to avoid the storm, which is perfect. So if you're on any of these cruises happening now, or the next cruise is going after them, just know that they should be back on time. There should be really no delays. Everything looks good for those cruise line. Celebrity Beyond, it's in the ABC Islands, as I reported out. They're just reversing the itinerary so they can get ahead of the storm to keep away from the worst of the weather. And both the Princess and MSC, the Enchanted for Princess, the Magnifica for MSC, doesn't appear to have any changes whatsoever to their itinerary. One change for Disney. Disney is skipping Jamaica. So this is an example of, depending on when the cruise ships leave the port, right? It's when they leave the port and where they're going. They may have very little changes to what's happening, like Disney is skipping one port, Enchanted Princess doesn't have to do anything right now. And then you have the Norwegian Jade, who has to change every one of its ports because the timing was wrong in their itinerary. Not through any fault of the cruise line or anything. It's just that they were leaving at a different date and end up in those areas, or they're on longer cruises that would have spent more time in that vicinity. So they're changing it up, and they're all monitoring. Every cruise line is monitoring that hurricane. It's supposed to hit the Yucatan Peninsula around the 4th and the 5th, and then head out past Mexico on July 6th. So we'll be affecting a few places along the way. Hopefully it'll do very little damage, and I hope everybody out there stays completely safe, both in the destinations where this hurricane is hitting, and of course on the cruise ships as well. So I also wanted to stress how much that the cruise lines go to keep you away from danger. So many people think that the cruise ships, again, are the most vulnerable things ever. during the cruise. Well, in reality, I'd rather be on a cruise ship in a hurricane approaching than in a hotel with a hurricane approaching. And now on to more of a cool story. Viking, they had a expedition type cruise ship sailing in Antarctica, and they came across an ultra rare phantom jellyfish. These are hardly ever seen. Even National Geographic has a hard time finding these, and they came across it during one of their sailings. The phantom jellyfish can grow to over 33 feet in length from top of the head to the tentacles on the bottom. Normally it's translucent, but if there's any light or anything around, it comes up as like a reddish orange type looking in the water. Amazing to be able to spot something like that. If you're a nature lover at all, imagine coming across one of the most rare creatures on Earth to see. It's hardly ever seen by human eyes. If you're not like an adventurer and an actual like nature photographer or a scientist heading out to look for these things, it's just amazing. You think, you know, some species on Earth are rare as like animal wise, and there's only so many polar bears, there's only so many of this. This creature is ultra rare to see at sea, and those people on the Viking expedition cruise ship were lucky enough to come across it and see it. And I'm going to myself, oh man, that's just one more reason that I want to go to Antarctica. One more reason I want to go to Africa to see nature in all its glory and maybe get lucky enough, fingers crossed, to ever come across something as rare as those people did on that Viking cruise ship. Pretty cool. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think? Do you think the cruise lines are doing a great job keeping the cruises safe? Would you be upset if your entire itinerary was changed? Would you be demanding money, or would you say, no, I'd rather be safe? That's the boat I'm in. I'd rather be safe. We're going to different ports instead. I'll roll with those punches. But you know, the minute the itinerary was changed, some people were down at guest services immediately saying, hey, what kind of compensation you giving me? Because I'm not going to that hurricane. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.